Hi. I'm going to talk about Ferguson chokes under clouds of tear gas as riots, gunshots and looting break out in aftermath of the grand jury decision not to indict cop Darren Wilson for killing black teen Michael Brown. Enraged protesters set fire to buildings and cars and looted businesses in Ferguson, Missouri, after a grand jury decided not to indict a white police officer over the death of unarmed black 18-year-old Michael Brown, whose shooting exposed deep racial tensions between African Americans and police. A grand jury decided not to indict a white police officer over the death of unarmed black 18-year-old Michael Brown, whose shooting exposed deep racial tensions between African Americans and police. Violence flared after the decision was announced by St. Louis County Prosecutor Robert McCulloch at around 8:25 p.m. on Monday evening, and continued throughout the evening and into early Tuesday morning. President Barack Obama and the family of Michael Brown asked for calm, as Obama spoke live from the White House briefing room. Television networks showed him on one side of the screen, and violent demonstrations in Ferguson on the other. Angry crowds took to the streets around the Ferguson police headquarters after the grand jury determined there was no probable cause to charge Wilson with any crime for the shooting of 18-year-old Brown this past summer. St. Louis police reported heavy gunfire late on Monday in the area near where Brown was shot and killed on August 9, and more than a dozen local businesses were razed to the ground by arsonists. Some reports say that firefighters have been tackling up to 25 structural fires caused by rioters. So far there have been 29 arrests, 13 injuries, and no fatalities, with police saying they have not fired any shots. Prosecuting attorney McCulloch said the jury of 9 whites and 3 black jury members met on 25 separate days and heard more than 70 hours of testimony from about 60 witnesses, including 3 medical examiners and other experts on blood, toxicology and firearms. He stressed that jurors were the only people who heard every witness and every piece of evidence. He said many witnesses presented conflicting statements that were inconsistent with the physical evidence. These grand jurors poured their hearts and soul into this process, he said. Ferguson chokes. McCulloch pointed out that many early reports in the incident were found not to be true by the official investigation, such as the report that Officer Wilson stood over Brown's body and fired the fatal shots into his back. The autopsy revealed that Wilson shot Brown to death as the young man walked towards him. Statement from Michael Brown's family. We are profoundly disappointed that the killer of our child will not face the consequence of his actions. While we understand that many others share our pain, we ask that you channel your frustration in ways that will make a positive change. We need to work together to fix the system that allowed this to happen. Join with us in our campaign to ensure that every police officer working the streets in this country wears a body camera. We respectfully ask that you please keep your protests peaceful. Answering violence with violence is not the appropriate reaction. Let's not just make noise, let's make a difference. After months of reviewing the evidence, the 7 men and 5 women on the grand jury decided not to bring up any of a handful of possible charges against Wilson, which included first-degree murder, second-degree murder, voluntary manslaughter, and involuntary manslaughter. As McCulloch was reading his statement, Brown's mother, Leslie McSpadden, was sitting atop a vehicle listening to a broadcast of the announcement. She put her face in her hands and sobbed violently, seconds before she had said, "This is wrong. Everybody want me to be calm, but you know how them bullets hit my son. Ain't nobody had to live through what I had to live through. Why? They ain't never gonna care." Brown's stepfather Louis had jumped up and down as he erupted in rage and said, "Burn this bee down. Burn this bee down." Minutes earlier, as McSpadden listened to the decision being read out, she shouted, "What was he defending himself from? Some of you Mother Earth think this is a joke." The family released a statement saying they were disappointed that the killer of our child will not face the consequence of his actions. Earlier in the day, the family asked for 4.5 minutes of silence following the verdict and peaceful protests, no matter what the decision. The crowd with McSpadden erupted in anger, converging on the barricade where police in riot gear were standing. They pushed down the barricade and began pelting police with objects, including a bullhorn. Officers stood their ground. Thanks for watching. Please see my link in description for more information. Bye.